This is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the successor to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and in my opinion, a worthy successor. Now, I've been using this device for almost 3 months now, and I have some thoughts. Actually, quite a few. Apple made improvements in the right departments, and let me be clear, the 13 Pro Max has become one of my favorite devices of 2021. The design and build of the 13 Pro Max has grown on me, and I really come to enjoy this new build that Apple has decided to go with. This is the largest of the iPhone 13 series. Now, I like to call this the iPhone tank. Just like last year, the 13 Pro Max's 6.7-inch OLED panel has been amazing in my use. From watching lots of YouTube videos, to texting, to editing photos like thumbnails, to even making TikTok videos. However, this year we finally got a ProMotion 120Hz refresh rate display, and it has made the experience even better. Like my iPhone 12 mini, I've been continuing to charge the 13 Pro Max via MagSafe, and I only charge my iPhone SE through the Lightning connector if I'm not next to a wireless charger. My only gripe is that it doesn't have USB-C, but come on, will we ever see USB-C on an iPhone? Probably not. The 13 Pro Max has flatter edges and sides, which gives off an industrial design that I like, and this is a design that we've seen last year with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, it's not a one-handed device, but I knew that getting into this phone. When we look at that display, we notice the notch is still present. However, the notch is 20% smaller than its predecessor's notch, and it's actually quite noticeable. I'm bummed that we still don't get a battery percentage, but oh well. The 13 Pro Max's triple camera system has been amazing, but I'm going to dive into that in a little bit. The 13 Pro Max isn't a design change from its predecessor, but they did make some really good improvements. We get a smaller notch, an upgraded display, upgraded camera hardware, and a thicker body that houses the much larger battery. And spoiler, I'm going to talk about it and go into detail, but battery is phenomenal. With my iPhone 13 Pro Max, software and performance has been on point. We all know by now how iOS functions and how fluid it is. It's great that the 13 Pro Max has that 120Hz display because that always does help with the fluidity. Now, iOS 15 has been super fluid paired with the A15 Bionic chipset, and honestly, I can't seem to notice a difference from my 12 mini that shipped with the A14 Bionic chipset. From daily usage like texting, replying to emails, to heavy usage like watching loads of YouTube videos in my subscription box, playing Call of Duty Mobile, and recording almost all of my recent A-roll footage with the 13 Pro Max, it doesn't break a sweat. You know that if you own an iPhone, you can rely on great software that makes the experience of using the phone super easy. I have no complaints with software. The camera on the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the entire iPhone 13 lineup has been outstanding. Now, I was never into smartphone photography. However, there have been quite a few phones that have changed that for me, like the Pixel lineup from Google and the iPhone. And the 13 Pro Max has officially become one of my main cameras as of right now for the YouTube channel. It also has become a gateway for me to make more Instagram Reels, TikToks, and even YouTube Shorts. With the 13 Pro Max this year, we're getting larger camera lenses compared to the 12 Pro Max. And when you compare them side by side, I don't have the 12 Pro Max, but you can definitely tell the difference. Now, this upgrade equates to more light let in when taking photos and videos. What I have come to love about the 13 lineup is cinematic mode. Now, to make it easier, we can call it portrait mode for videos, but it gives that bokeh effect by blurring the background of the subject. Now, there is one feature that I've enjoyed from the 13 Pro Max that is not on the 13 mini and the iPhone 13, and that is macro photography. Getting a real close-up image on a product has been super useful for me. And there's also these modes where it's kind of like filters, but they're not filters. You have that as well, so if you want to go ahead, they're there for you. Now, the iPhone 13 Pro Max has the most camera features when it comes to iPhones, and those looking to use it for social media or to start growing on various platforms like Instagram Reels and YouTube. My advice for anyone who wants to get into the YouTube game should start with their smartphone, because the best camera you have is the one in your pocket. And if you have an iPhone, then, well, you're in good hands. A friend of mine recently upgraded from the iPhone XR to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and now he is ready more than ever to start making content. The ease of the 13 Pro Max and its versatility gives the user comfort when making content. Now, I started my YouTube channel with my LG G3, RIP LG, back in 2014, and even to this day, while I have an actual camera that I use for the channel, hopefully I'll be upgrading as the channel continues to grow. Thank you all so much for your support, by the way, and if you haven't already, definitely be sure to subscribe. 2022 is going to be an awesome year for the channel. Anyway, I also use an iPhone for one of my main cameras. In fact, I've begun to use my iPhone 13 Pro Max as my A-roll camera for all my recent videos for like the past 2 to 3 months, while my DSLR it still stands as my B-roll camera. Now just imagine if Apple actually made an actual DSLR. Okay, so if you made it this far into the video, you probably remember me saying earlier that the battery is a spoiler. It's phenomenal. Yes, Apple made a huge, and I mean huge, leap in the battery department for the 13 series, not just the Pro Max, but the entire lineup. And guess which one has the biggest and best battery life? Obviously, you're right, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. And I said this earlier, but I'd like to say it again. I call this the iPhone tank. This thing is built like a tank. I mean, the materials, if you drop the phone, it's glass on the front and back and stainless steel on the side, so you might get some scratches here and there, but it's just overall, it feels like it's built like a tank. And it also has a huge battery that easily lasts me 2 days, and I'm a heavy user. Now, MagCharge has been my go-to charging method for my iPhone, and I love it. I use MagSafe both at home and in the car, and if I'm ever on a long road trip, I also have a MagSafe power bank to go with it. If you're a light user, the 13 Pro will easily get you through nearly 2 days. There are some days that when I'm testing another phone, I don't use my 13 Pro Max that much. On those types of days, I use it more for, texting and just checking notifications, and it will still have battery life on its 3rd day. Now, if you're a heavy user, no worries. Like I said, this iPhone is a tank. Well, just my opinion, it's a tank, and it will still last you well into your 2nd day of use. This is the first phone I've ever owned that has gotten me nearly 2 days of usage, and this includes frequent FaceTime calls, lots of YouTube consumption, recording almost all of my A-roll videos, and even making some Instagram reels. It's just been amazing. For those of you who have been subscribed to the channel, you may know that I used to work at Best Buy, so I can comfortably say that pricing on a product in many cases can be the determining factor for a final purchase decision. Now, the price for the 13 Pro Max is the same as when the 12 Pro Max came out last year. It's $10.99 for its base storage of 128 gigs of storage. 256 gigs of storage runs you at $11.99, 512 for $13.99, and a whopping 1 terabyte of storage for $15.99. Now, at first, I thought that 128 gigs would be enough for me. However, since this phone has become one of my main cameras for the channel, I've been using up more storage than usual. So next time I do pick up an iPhone, I'm most likely going to go with either 256 or 512 to play it safe. Now, if you plan on extensively using your iPhone as your main camera like me and plan on shooting lots and lots of cinematic video or 4K video or whatever it is, I definitely recommend upgrading to a higher storage based model. They do take up a lot of storage. It really does add up. However, for the average consumer though, I can also comfortably say that 128 gigs is perfect. And I want to talk about my final thoughts. Is the iPhone 13 Pro Max worth it? Honestly, look, if you ask me, yes. Yes, it is. However, is it for everyone? Well, no. If you're looking for the latest and greatest, but not the biggest, that's right, like the latest and greatest from Apple, but not like the biggest iPhone, then you may want to look at the iPhone 13 Pro. It too has the same improvements like that 120Hz display upgrade, the camera upgrades, and even battery life upgrades. It doesn't really have any missing features that the 13 Pro Max has that the 13 Pro doesn't. They all share the same exact hardware and software features, but just in a smaller form factor. So that might be your choice. But the iPhone 13 Pro Max is one of the most powerful devices that I have ever used. It has outstanding battery life, which is my absolute favorite feature of the device. The fact that I can get 8 to 9 hours of screen on time is absolutely astonishing, and using the phone, it gives me comfort knowing I don't need to worry about the battery. Well, the 13 Pro Max isn't a huge overhaul from its predecessor to 12 Pro Max. It makes the necessary improvements in the right departments, and it easily makes it on the top of the list of smartphones to buy for many people, including myself. However, like I said, it makes the improvements in the right departments, so it might be for you. And honestly, I think that Apple made the right move by not naming it the 12S Pro Max. This phone is more than just an S upgrade. So if you're looking for the biggest and best iPhone, look no further. iPhone 13 Pro Max is the way to go. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to superman that like button, comment down below, because with the more interactions we get on this video, not only helps the video and the channel, but also pushes the video out to more viewers. And best of all, superman that subscribe button. Until next time, everybody, and until next video, this is MTG.